Hey, what's going on, guys? TM Fox here, back with another banger video. Or is it a banger video? Well, we're going to be getting into that today, guys. We are continuing my commentary video series, and I'm just going to be sitting down with you guys and having a discussion on, well, a couple things: the state of gaming, the history of gaming, where I think it's going, the industry as a whole, as well as the same thing but with modding as well. I have a rich history with gaming, and I plan to delve into that a little bit more. But firstly, a couple key things. You might be wondering why CS2 gameplay. I don't know. I just like it. I've been playing CS2 a bit recently. Don't trash on my gameplay. I know I'm bad. Okay. But like with commentary videos, like everything, there's going to be tons of background gameplay variety. Some videos I might do more, like in my Q&A video, I do a variety of games. Some videos I might just do one game like I do in this video, but overall more to come over time. And yeah, also got my new microphone. I don't know when I'm going to be releasing this. It could be before my other uploads with the old microphone, or it could be after, not new microphone, but since I fixed my microphone, I should say. But either way, this has the good microphone, so you guys can actually hear me talking. At least I hope you can. But yeah, so overall, lots to come, and just overall, I want this to be an ongoing discussion. Well, it will be an ongoing discussion. I can't possibly talk about everything I want to talk about in this game, in this video. There's a lot of topics I do want to talk about. There's a lot of different games we can talk about, but I want this to be an ongoing discussion. So I'm going to continue the conversation in future videos, as well as just yeah, just all the time. I'm going to be continuing the conversation, and I want to hear your guys' opinions as well, so definitely put down in the comments below. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's get this started. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. I don't really have a script or anything. I just wanted to sort of talk a bit about just gaming, and I guess the best way to start that is to talk about my history, of course. Really simply put, I'll reveal more over time, but really simply put, I've been gaming for a long time, since the early 2000s, and I've played. I was a bit too young for the PlayStation 1, but I started on the PlayStation 2, played that for many years, then PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and then I transitioned to PC. My whole time on PlayStation, I always wanted to mod, and then once I did get onto PC, I started modding immediately and haven't stopped since. I love modding so much. So that's where that sort of all comes from. But in that time, I'm not someone that just plays one game or a few games. I play a lot of different games, and I can't help but just feel like the gaming industry, it's not going well. It's not in a good position, and I think the main thing. Yeah, the reason I actually wanted to make this video is because this year in particular hasn't been the best. You know, Firstly, of course, earlier in the year we had the crew shutdown, which was a huge thing. I actually didn't even, like, for me, when the crew was shutting down, I was really upset. As you guys saw, it was actually what boosted this channel. I made a couple of videos on the crew, and that's when I started to take this channel seriously. But like, you know and the crew is another topic that I want to discuss over time, because I have a rich history with this game. It's a game that I love so much. I want to do a full review where I actually spend like a full hour telling you why I think it's literally the most underrated racing game of all time. But essentially, I love that game. I love that game so much. It was one of my favorite racing games of all time, if not just one of my favorite games of all time. And when it was shutting down, it was weird. Like, the way you don't realize it until, those final days, those final weeks. I remember the final days really thinking to myself, like, I'm sitting there playing the crew and I'm thinking, this is it. Like, I'm literally never going to get to play this game ever again. And it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling knowing that a game you love playing, you will never ever get to play again. Of course, this was before the whole, like, I didn't realize how much of a shitstorm it would kick up. Excuse my language. I didn't realize how much of a crazy thing it would kick up, which is really, really good, because, as a fan of the crew, I was hoping that the community would realize how much of an injustice this is, and really, try and bring some justice to the game. So I'm happy that, we've got a sort of a couple pronged attack. We've got, modders trying to bring the game back online in an offline mode, and then you've got the legal aspect trying to, not sue, but essentially say that this isn't right. Because the crew shutting down, it really sets a dangerous precedent for gaming. It truly does, because when you think about it, a lot of our favorite games these days are online only. I'm thinking for myself personally, War Thunder. Um, I guess Counter-Strike, not really, although it could be argued it is. Um, like Fortnite, I guess, PUBG, all the MMOs that people play. I don't know. There's a lot of racing games again that are, the more you think about it, the more games are online only, and you don't really think about it, but eventually these are going to get shut down. And we don't think about it in the time because we're just playing it and everything, and that's fine. But for the future, like, this is serious. Like, I personally go back and play a lot of the classics from back in the day, or the old GTAs and Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. Oh, that's a goated game. Lots of old games I love playing, because who doesn't? But thinking about the future, we won't get to do this with our games that we're playing now. We won't get to go back and play them, and I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. Not in any other type of media or history has this ever happened before. Like, you can look at old music, you can look at old books going back to God knows how long ago, hundreds of years ago. You can find copies of them online, you can listen to old music. It's fine, but to have something that is locked behind an online thing, and when the servers got shut down, you never ever get to play it again, is just absolutely insane to me. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, the crew, I'm sure you guys have seen my community posts and my other videos. It's a huge topic that I definitely want to delve into more, because the crew, it really it sets a dangerous precedent for gaming, and I'm afraid for the future in terms of consumer rights, in terms of just all that kind of stuff. But that's a whole topic. But I'm praying for the future for the crew. Obviously, like I said, modders are trying to bring it back online, praying and hoping. But we just have to wait and see. And yeah, if you haven't already, you can take legal action if you own the crew. Please make sure you do. And I'd also like to note that I do have my the crew final road trip slideshow video coming out, where I show the slideshow of my final road trip in the game that I did with Oscartron. That's going to be coming out soon. Very, very sad, but I'm glad we got to do that, and I'll be discussing more about the game then. But anyway, so that's the whole thing happened earlier in the year. It's terrible, and it caused a massive, massive controversy, which is good. Then, of course, we had GTA 5 recently. GTA Online, just in fact a couple of days ago, depending on when this recording comes out. They released anti-cheat for GTA Online, but also for GTA 5 single player. Now, Rockstar Games and Take-Two have shown that they do not care about modders in the slightest, and it's, I don't know, it's a tough situation. Like, in terms of modders and modders' rights, again, we take it for granted, but I kind of do have a lot of respect for the game companies that do unlock the game files for modders. A lot of games don't, but Rockstar have always been good with that. But of course, it does not justify all the things they do, to be honest. And yeah, so essentially they added an anti-cheat which disabled all single-player mods, and it means you couldn't launch the game if you had single-player mods. They, of course, didn't tell anyone that you can literally just disable this in the Rockstar launcher menu, which was a fix found by Oscartron and many others. It's insane. It's insane. The amount of people I saw on Reddit going crazy about this, rightfully so. Again, like, what are game companies doing? Like, seriously, I don't know. I suppose in the long run, it's a good thing that they had this anti-cheat, but again, just no thought for people that play single player or modded or whatever, and how it might affect, it's been a crazy situation. But I've got my GTA 5 back up and running. Just got to wait for, of course, Alexander Blade. to release the new script hook V. And again, Alexander Blade, that's another thing I want to talk about. A lot of people don't realize if you're out there and you mod GTA 5 and you have script hook V, you might not know that Alexander Blade is the creator of script hook V, and he's the only person that, at least that I'm aware of, that most of the modding community is aware of, that can make script hook V. And the interesting thing is he lives in Ukraine as well. So it does make me scared sometimes thinking about, what might happen if something happened to him. If no one else knows how to make script hook V, we're essentially cooked. But it's insane. It's insane that one guy is holding up the GTA 5 modding community. I have so much respect for him, seriously. I love Alexander Blade. He's the GOAT. But yeah, so essentially it hasn't been a good year for gaming. And then of course we have all the new games being released. Oh my god. I've covered all these different things individually on my screenshots, on my community posts, videos, but I just wanted to sort of sit down and talk to you about them all. At least get the conversation going and then continue it over time. So new games, they've been terrible. Now, the last game that I actually pre-ordered would have probably been in 2018. I remember pre-ordering Just Cause 4 and The Crew 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. I think they all came out in the same year. And they were good, but well, actually, sorry, that's not the last time. That was sort of was, but then I pre-ordered the City Skylines 2. Obviously, I love City Skylines 1. I thought they had a great development team, small development team. And, I thought, well, they can't do anything wrong, They did. Yeah. I'm not never pre-ordering a game again. And hey guys, sorry for the interruption. Post-editing me here, I just noticed a little mistake when I was talking about pre-orders. So there is a new pre-order that I have done. It is true, up until this point, I haven't pre-ordered anything except for, the City Skylines 2 and whatnot. But as of yesterday, I don't know when this video is coming out, but I pre-ordered, very excited to announce, I pre-ordered Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Right after I recorded this video was when all the gameplay showcases released, and then of course the pre-orders opened up, and after seeing it, I just had to. The even more exciting thing is I pre-ordered the 1 out of 5,000 limited edition Aviators Collector's Edition of MSFS 2024, which is super, super exciting. I cannot wait to play the game and then, of course, have all the awesome stuff that comes with the Collector's Edition. It's very, very expensive, but I figured I love Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and this just looks absolutely incredible. A lot of the things that I modded into the base 2020, which you can see on my modding showcase video on MSFS, is in the base game in the 2024 version, which is insane. And then the fact that you can just get out and walk around and all the new flora and fauna and the new career mode and the new visuals. Oh my god. There is so much to talk about. It's an insane game, and it's going to have so much, not only modding potential, but a lot of RP potential. You can check my community post for more details or my Steam screenshots, but basically, I'm really, really excited. So I did pre-order that, which is going to be for the Microsoft Store, but I am going to be pre-ordering it again for Steam, which I know is weird, but I wanted to get that limited collector's edition because FOMO, I guess. But that's MS Store, but I also want the Steam version, of course, for things like achievements, hours, community engagement, stuff like that. So I am going to be getting both. And so, yeah, lots of awesome RP and modding and completion to come over time. Super, super excited. I just hope it all works out. In the context of this video, I know it sounds weird. I'm getting really excited about a game that hasn't come out yet, and then every other game's let me down. Honestly, MSFS 2026 could be a huge letdown. I hope not. I really, really hope not. But it looks promising. From the gameplay I've seen, it seems good. And it doesn't... I don't know. It doesn't seem out of the realms of reality that it's actually good. Like, it looks really good. A lot of the stuff they're promising, I can see them adding it, because it was already mods in MSFS 2020. But yeah, overall, super, super looking forward to that. like I said, check the community post for more. I couldn't put pictures on the community post, which is why I'm putting them up here on this video, just so you can see the Aviators Collector's Edition. But yeah, so just an update. I did indeed pre-order that, and I also will be pre-ordering GTA 6 when that comes out. That's the only other game that I can promise you that I will be pre-ordering, because you know it's GTA 6. But otherwise, I don't really pre-order games. But this is a one-off thing because I'm super excited. So overall, just a quick note for that for the video. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be a lot of MSFS content to come. Stated and unstated, like always. Check screenshots for more. But going to be doing lots of completion, lots of RP. I mean, it's got the entire world RP, even space RP. It's crazy. And the fact that you can now get out and walk around, oh my god. Oh my god. So much to look forward to. Like I said in the community post as well, though, because I am getting it on MS Store, a lot of the stuff's going to be unstated, like a lot, pretty much all of it. Because it's just such a pain to screenshot and then upload to Steam. Plus, I'm running out of storage anyway, so everything is now sort of becoming more unstated. But there's always, like I say, always unstated things happening over time. Completion, modding, RP, so much lore, and cool things, just generally cool things over time. And that's no exception for MSFS 2024. And of course, I'm going to have all the cool Collector's Edition planes on the MS Store version, where it's on Steam, I might not. It's dynamically evolving, it's dynamically changing, but the main note is I got it. I pre-ordered the limited edition, Aviators edition, and will be pre-ordering or purchasing on Steam. And so overall, going to be a lot of cool stuff happening in that game. So yeah, just a quick note, but otherwise, let's get back to the video. I don't think you all should either. It's these days, I don't know what's happened to gaming. I truly don't. I don't even know where to get started on this topic, but I mean, firstly, SSD only games, as I like to call them. I can think of 3 off the top of my head: Forza Motorsport, Starfield, and City Skylines 2. Those are games all released within the last year, and they are SSD only. If you install any of those games on a hard drive, they are unplayable due to textures not loading, really bad stuttering, both visuals and audio, a whole number of issues. Seriously, and I've tested all of them individually, and as soon as I install them on my SSD, they work fine. But it shouldn't be that way. It really should not be that way. I get it, like SSDs aren't the most expensive thing, but seriously, not everyone has a big enough SSD, or even an SSD at all, with space on it for games. The problem is, yeah, you know, people can get maybe a 1 terabyte SSD or something, but they fill up pretty quickly, especially with all the Windows stuff and applications and whatnot. They fill up pretty damn quick. So, and especially with games becoming massive, we just don't have enough room for, you know, such a massive game. And, oh god, like, you can't say that's playable. You cannot just release a game that's SSD only and say that's playable. It's extremely disappointing. And especially from City Skylines 2, you know, that was a game company that I really respected, and I still do. You know, they're fixing the game over time, they're releasing updates, although I pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, and Ultimate Edition owners of City Skylines 2 got really screwed over, like, really screwed over. But still, you know, I think they're doing a good job trying to fix it. And I get some bonus content as an Ultimate Edition owner, but again, like, the game companies have a tendency these days of releasing games before they're ready because they want money. You can't argue with that point. It's just true. I honestly don't remember back in my day. I don't want to sound like an old person, but back in my day, when a game released, there wasn't these whole, you know, controversies about the game wasn't ready, or day one DLC, or battle passes, or anything like that. It just worked. And the thing is, okay, this is another major point I wanted to talk about. People say that, you know, games, when people like myself say games were better back in the day, they say it's just nostalgia, you know, oh, it's just nostalgia, they weren't actually better. Look, maybe there is a little bit of nostalgia, there's no denying that, right? We all, generation to generation, this is the same thing that has always happened over time. But I am still standing on the hill that, you know, games were better back in the day. 100% they were better, you know. And it's the sad thing is that in my lifetime, I've seen the gaming industry turn into something that's made by gamers for gamers to literally just money, made by corporate suits for as many young kids to spend, mummy or daddy's credit card as possible. That's it. That's literally all it is now. And it's sad. It truly is sad. Um, I feel for people growing up these days, getting to play um, the games that are out now. I guess Fortnite and the new Call of Duties and all that. They can be fun, sure, but anyone around my age or older that played games in the early 2000s till probably about the mid 2010s, you know what I mean. Like it's insane. The other thing is talking about old games versus new games is IPs and series, plural, and how they just milk every single game series. And I have a few perfect examples of this, okay? But essentially my point is you need to come up with some new stuff, like seriously. It's insane. And to be honest, when they do come up with new games, we can see the success. I mean, a couple games just off the top of my head, you've got games like Ghost of Tsushima, you've got games like, No Man's Sky, which again, No Man's Sky is a whole other discussion for another video, but No Man's Sky is the perfect example of modern day game releasing and then the game company that actually cares about its players and continues to this day to give the people what they want. I went on No Man's Sky just the other day and they've already added the new Aquarius update and, World's Part 1 and all that. It's insane how much Hello Games actually care about the community. They listen to what the people want, they give the people what they want, because ultimately the people are the ones playing the game. They're the ones that are going to know what to put in the game, It can't get much more clearer than that. But of course, big game companies like, Ubisoft and Rockstar, they don't care about us. They do not care, especially if you're not spending money on the game. They would much rather listen to a young kid who bought a bajillion shark cards rather than someone like myself who's been playing the GTA series since, GTA 3 in 2002, 2003. And it's insane. It's truly insane. And it just shows that brand loyalty, it doesn't mean anything if you're not spending enough money that they want, which sucks. But again, that's just the way things go. Specifically, so talking about game series, and again, thank you so much to No Man's Sky and Hello Games. You guys are the goats. I really appreciate everything they do. But yeah, going back to what I want to talk about, game series. So my point is, game companies have gotten lazy and they are literally just continuing series that shouldn't really be continued, in my opinion. Some game series have gone on for a long time and they've been really good. Some have been short. They're also really good. But you gotta know when to stop, seriously. Or at the very least, make a sequel that's good. It's actually not even that hard in gaming. I know it's controversial, but to be honest, making a game sequel is not that hard. GTA is the perfect example of doing it correctly. You take the last entry and you improve on it. That's all you have to do, right? Starting off, GTA 1, GTA 2, simple games, whatever. GTA 3, the start of the 3D universe. You have, for the time, a big map, a great campaign, lots of different cars to drive around. It was groundbreaking at the time. Groundbreaking. So, a couple of years later, with Vice City, they just improved on that. It was the same concept. You had, a big open world map, an engaging story, but this time with a whole new aesthetic, Miami, 80s, new cars, new weapons, new characters, new game physics, whatever. A couple years later, San Andreas, even more so. We have the entire state of San Andreas, 3 cities, 3 countrysides, and a crazy cool story. More cars, more vehicles. You can now, fly. Although I guess you can fly in 3 and Vice City, but flying has been expanded. So many new things. RPG elements, which didn't even return in the game, which make it unique. And that's the other thing. You don't have to just keep improving on it. You make things unique in each entry that keeps you coming back for more. So then, a couple years later, GTA 4. Now, GTA 4 is a little different, but it's the perfect example of how they kept the formula. It's still GTA. You still have this big map. You're driving from place to place, doing missions. It's the same formula. You're going around shooting people, killing people, whatever. Same kind of game, but it was much more dark. It was much more gritty. Um, it had, one of probably the best story in any GTA, the best protagonist. The cars drove much more realistically as opposed to more arcadey. It was different, but they tried it and it really, really worked. It's one of the most legendary games, one of my favorite games of all time. Then, of course, GTA 5, no explaining, you guys already know. GTA 5, again, really different to GTA 4, but has a huge map. They went back to sort of the more arcadey thing. Graphics are much more improved. You can do so much in GTA 5. But my point is, so with each entry, they're just improving it over time, but it's the same core concept, right? But they also, make things unique in each entry. So, like, for example, I honestly cannot decide what my favorite GTA is. It's between San Andreas 4 and 5, and that's because, yeah, I have nostalgia with all of them. They all have memories, but also they all do something unique that each one other doesn't. San Andreas has more of an RPG feel because it has RPG elements. GTA 4 is the more dark, serious GTA, of course. It had cool things, cool features that I personally like how you can pick up things on the side of the road and throw them at people. I mean, what happened to that? Environmental weapons. Um, and GTA 5 has like 3 protagonists. It's got a lot of features. So overall, that's for a whole other video. But like I said, guys, every one of these topics I want to delve into more, but I don't want to make this video too long. But over time, each of these topics will get its own video. So now let's look at how not to do it, and that's obviously going to be the crew. It's probably the best example I can think of. The crew is bad. The crew is bad. Don't take that out of context. I love all of the crew games. The crew one is my favorite racing game of all time, as I said. I also love the Crew 2 and Motorfest. I think they're all really fun games, but they are the perfect example of how to destroy a series, especially one that has a lot of fans of the original. So the Crew 1 comes out. It's this legendary game. It has its defining features. It has a massive open world map like no one's ever seen. An entire recreation of the continental United States, which you can drive around freely. It has a dark, gritty story about taking revenge on your brother being killed. And it has this adventurous journey feeling. You start off in Detroit and you work your way doing small little jobs. Eventually, you take over the Midwest. Then you head to the East Coast, and you've got this brand new scenery. It's autumn or fall. And you've got all these, whole New York City to explore, and then you go south to Miami, and then Rocky State, and then eventually the West Coast in the final part of the game, and you work your way through the ranks of the gang infiltrating it as as a undercover cop / informant, and eventually you take down the big boss and whatever. By the way, if I see anyone saying that this is spoilers, that's crazy work, guys. That's crazy. You literally cannot play this game ever again. So I do not care. I'm not giving a spoiler warning. If you had this spoiled, whoop-de-doo. You're not even going to get to play the game. So yeah, I hate spoilers, but come on. You got to admit, that's not really a spoiler. So yeah, the Crew one was truly incredible. It had great customization. It brought in this idea of buying one car and then speccing it out depending on the kind of race, the kind of challenge you wanted to do. It had some of the best police I've ever seen in a game, which is a topic for another video. Really, really good police chases, great vehicles, great liveries, great lighting, great sounds. Great police dispatch as well, to the likes of Most Wanted 2005, which is legendary. And I loved it. I truly, truly loved it. Anyway, then you've got the Crew 2 coming out. Now, the Crew 2, firstly, they kind of clickbaited us, or at least they clickbaited me. I pre-ordered because I thought it looked similar to the Crew 1, and they had police in the trailer. Now, I don't know if that's false advertising or if that's illegal, but it sure as hell is immoral, that's for sure, because I thought there'd be police in the game. In my opinion, police, you need them in a game like that. It just makes it more fun and exciting. For me personally, I don't want to really just be driving around aimlessly in the open world. I want to have challenges in the open world. I want to face enemies in the open world, and that, of course, naturally would be the police in a racing game. Now, if you disagree, if you think the Crew 2 is a great game, and even when it doesn't have police, that's completely fine. I'm not here to trash on anyone's opinion, but I'm just purely speaking, out of what I think, and I think that it should have. But anyway, the Crew 2 wanted to go for this different thing entirely. They wanted a much more light-hearted game that was sort of more akin to, Forza Horizon, but not really. It was still unique enough that it wasn't, a copycat. And it is what it is. I still really enjoyed the Crew 2. I platinumed it within like the first week it came out. And I still continued. I 100%ed it on Steam as well, just like many other games. And I still found it to be really, really, really fun. They added boats and planes, so you could explore the world entirely differently, but it was starting to lose the Crew formula, in my opinion. Now, technically, it's a weird paradox because they added boats and planes. You'd think that the world would feel much more adventurous, much more, you'd want to explore it more, but it's actually the other way around. Like, when I play the Crew 2 and when I explore it, quote unquote, it doesn't feel like I'm exploring anything. And I think partly, it's because as soon as you start the game, you're literally fast traveling between New York and LA just immediately. Like, you're going all over the map. And there isn't really much of a adventurous feeling. Whereas the Crew 1, from day dot, you feel like you're in an adventure. Like I said, you start in the Midwest and then you work your way around. You go to the East Coast. Of course, from the very beginning, you can go anywhere you want. There's nothing locking you off from driving straight to LA, but it still feels like an adventure. You can't just, you could fast travel immediately if you took the train or whatever, but you don't have to. If you follow the story, you're experiencing this amazing journey, and the Crew 2 just didn't really do that. But, it was okay. It still had the map, but it was a huge downgrade. They actually removed a lot of interesting things, which a lot of people don't know. But for a Crew veteran like myself, I know these things. I know all the little bits that they removed, including, the secret Air Force base just north of Chicago. They removed the fun fair in the Midwest. They removed so many different things. Anyway, then you have the Crew Motorfest, which I didn't play on console. Obviously, it released when I'd already switched to PC. And when it finally released on Steam, I got it, and I've been playing it ever since. Obviously, haven't played nearly as much as the other Crew games, but here's my thoughts on the Crew Motorfest. Okay, it's fun. It's a fun game. I enjoy it, but it is, first and foremost, it's a Forza Horizon clone, and I don't want to hear anyone saying otherwise, but I'm not saying that in a bad way, and I think there's this stigma around game clones in that they're bad, naturally, because they're quote-unquote copying, but I actually don't think so. I think for us consumers, we have to enjoy clones, because it means that there's more, competition on the market, and that's great for consumers. We get more games, and, that's never a bad thing. Especially as someone that comes from PlayStation, I can recognize that the Crew Motorfest is important for PlayStation gamers because they never got Forza Horizon. I never got to play Forza Horizon when I was on PlayStation. I missed out. Obviously, since coming on PC, I've literally 100%ed every single Forza Horizon game. But if I was still on PlayStation, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. So now, PlayStation gamers who want Forza Horizon have the Crew Motorfest, and I think that's a great thing. But as a Crew fan, this is not the Crew. Come on. The Crew Motorfest is not at all the Crew that I know and love, at the very least. First and foremost, like I said, it's a fun game. I love it. I love the map. Hawaii looks absolutely beautiful, but it's not the Crew. Again, the Crew is known for a few key things from the Crew 1. Big open world map, dark gritty story, amazing police chases, car RPG elements, the ability for one car to be spec'd out into anything, with pre-built specs, whatever. I could go on and on. But it just is not like that anymore. It truly is not. Oh, and in the Crew 1, of course, the exploration element, another thing, I can talk about this forever, but, the discovery of those satellite dishes, which were kind of like the outposts in Far Cry, or the towers, and anything like that. It's a Ubisoft game. But it's all gone in the Crew Motorfest. The only thing that links it to the Crew 1, in my opinion, is that, you can drive cars, and that you collect upgrades for your specs for your car. That's it. That's literally it. That's the only thing linking it to the Crew one, and that's ridiculous. Again, this would have been a great game, just not under the Crew name, in my opinion. And so what you've got is a series that is unrecognizable from the first game to the last game. Whereas, like I mentioned before, the GTA franchise, all of them share DNA. They're all the same. They've just improved upon it with each entry. But with the Crew, like I said, if the only similarities is that you drive cars, that's not good. It's like saying, if GTA, the next GTA came out, and the only similarity to the other ones is that you steal cars. That's it. Otherwise, it's like a Fortnite type game, and you go around. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. It's not good. It's not good, and it's proof that they just want to milk series, plural, and put something under a name that everyone is waiting for and wants more of, and then it's just crap. And another great example of this is Test Drive Solar Crown, of course, one of the most recent releases. And fun fact about Test Drive, it's probably one of the only game series that I am not a veteran in. um, Pretty much every other game series I have probably 100%ed, but Test Drive Unlimited, I never really got to play as a kid. I always wanted to, but of course, again, it never released on PlayStation, so I never got the. Oh, did it? Did it actually? I'm not too sure. But either way, I never got to play it. Of course, now again, I have completed. I've completed Test Drive Unlimited 1 and 2, and I checked out the open beta of Solar Crown, and again, like, series are just losing their identity these days. And I've seen other people talk about Solar Crown, actual veterans who truly love Test Drive Unlimited 2 and 1, and again, for them, it's like my Crew, my original The Crew, and I get that. But yeah, again, for me, Test Drive Unlimited was all about that massive map and the interaction with your car, and again, the police. Again, I have to bring it up. There was no police in Test Drive Solar Crown, and that was a crazy thing for me. Like, for me personally, when I played it, I just didn't. I looked at the map firstly, the Hong Kong map, and it just wasn't big. It was not that big, and I'm thinking, okay, this is literally just like any other racing game, and like what? I don't know. And then no police. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, or Test Drive Solar Crown, whatever it's called. It to me just feels like a soulless racing game, if you can even call it that. I don't know. For me personally, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna play it. Well, I might play it when it goes on sale, but I'm not gonna buy it at full price. I wasn't gonna pre-order it or anything like that. But these are just a couple of examples of how series are really losing their identity. And it's crazy. And even GTA, which was my good example, it is also losing its identity with GTA Online, of course. I hate GTA Online. I'm just going to say that first and foremost. I consider myself a veteran in it. I've been playing since day one in 2013, 2014. I still remember where I was when it released. I was so excited for it. By that point, I had already completed the story. I think it released a couple months after the original GTA 5 in September 2013. I remember taking the day off school and in September 2013, and just playing GTA 5 all day. I remember the first video I watched was a KYR Speedy video just before I was going to head down to go pick it up from the local game store, and I was like, wow, this is GTA 5, and I thought to myself, how exciting the future is. I'm thinking, I've had all these legendary GTAs. I grew up with San Andreas, GTA 4, and now GTA 5, and I'm like, I can't wait for the next 10 years, all the next GTAs and whatnot. Oh boy, if I could go back and tell younger me to just hold on. It's going to be a wild ride. It's sad. It is sad because ultimately, guys, the wait for GTA 6 is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's okay. 10 years, over 10 years now, 11 years, probably 12, 13 by the time GTA 6 releases, it's not good enough. It just isn't. I don't. They need to understand that the longer they put it off, the higher the expectations are going to be. And at this point, 10 years, 11 years, the expectations are already way too high. At this point, it has to be the best game I've ever played, with everything being absolutely perfect. Otherwise, it just wasn't worth it. You know, we have very limited time on this earth. Not to get all philosophical with you guys, but time is the one thing we are really limited in. And the fact that, like myself and many other people, have literally grown up through GTA 5 from 2013 till now. And now a lot of us don't even play games anymore. It's sad, you know, like we could have played so much, we could have. But again, that's a topic for a whole other video. But my point is, I played GTA Online day one. I loved it. You know, I played it with my cousin and some other friends. And, you know, I feel, again, I feel bad for the kids these days. They didn't get to experience day one GTA Online. It wasn't just people flying around modded lobbies, Oppressor Mark IIs blowing everyone up. It wasn't like that, because the most OP vehicles were probably the Rhino or the Laser. That was it, and they have their limitations, of course. Oh god, excuse me. And of course, this was before heists or anything like that, and you just made your own fun. You truly did. It was mostly just people driving around the map, making their own fun. Of course, great example of this is the early Vanos videos. They did it as well. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I truly loved it. And I stopped playing around 2015, 16. I think whenever they added that race update with all like the big loops and stuff like that, for me that was like, okay, it was fun, I guess, but I stopped playing for a bit, and then they went ham with the updates, adding so much stuff, and it got to the point where now I tried a few years later to get back into it. I just couldn't. It was way too overwhelming, and of course that's again another problem if you keep milking a game for too long. If someone wants to come in new at it and you've just released all this content, it becomes way too overwhelming for a new player. Way too overwhelming. Then, of course, GTA Online literally ruined the GTA franchise as well. Not to be, you know, whatever, but again, it ruined the identity of GTA. I don't even know what it's become. And again, I played GTA San Andreas split screen, I played GTA 4 multiplayer, and I'm still of the belief that GTA 4 multiplayer was better than, or is better than GTA 5 online in its current state. And if you guys never got to experience GTA 4 online, my god, it was the most simple thing ever. It was literally just everyone at the airport trying to get an annihilator. That was it. There was some annihilators that would spawn at the end of the airport. But in GTA 4 Online, there was no money system. There was no owning anything. You spawn into a lobby, a free roam lobby. There was team deathmatch and racing and stuff, but not many people played that. Most people just played on free roam, and you would literally just spawn in at the airport, and you'd form alliances with random people, and you'd go to get the annihilator, and you'd be shooting people and taking cover, and oh my god, it was the most fun I've ever had. And then GTA 5, originally online, GTA Online was like that. You know, it was just creating your own fun with what you had. But now it's just grinding heists, flipping Oppressor Mark IIs, Doomsday heists. Like, what has GTA become? Seriously, I hate GTA Online. It's horrible because, you know, again, Rockstar is just milking shark cards from kids. And people don't realize how dangerous this is in terms of a precedent for the future of gaming. This is not okay, that we are just literally giving these game companies our lives and our money for tiny little DLC things. It's insane, and you can already see the effects happening, right? Like, instead of focusing on whole new massive games that give you so much content for such a good price, we're all just wasting money on these shark cards and these loot crates and whatever, and then that's giving the impression that, oh, we can just keep milking this game forever. We don't need to work on anything actually new. And I believe that that's why also in GTA 5, that's why around 2015, 2016, maybe a few years after that, 2017, they stopped adding DLC content to the single player, because they thought, why do we need to? You know, that gives players the opportunity to actually, you know, own these cars and weapons, whereas we want them to grind online, we want them to spend money on shark cards, and that's the only way they can get them, which is absolutely insane. Now, granted, if you're on PC like me, of course you can mod the single player. And yeah, I love when a new update releases for GTA Online, and like from day one of the update, we literally have all the vehicles and weapons and everything in single player that we can use at will. We can just spawn them in with a trainer. And there you go. I just saved myself like 10 hours of grinding. I love modding single player. But yeah, for most people, especially on console, of course, it's not an option. And it's sad. I remember when they stopped adding the DLC content to single player, and I was really sad. I was like, why? Why? I don't know. But now, of course, we see why. They just want to make money. But it's sad. It's sad. I hate Rockstar. The anti-cheat issue online, the original release of the trilogy, ruining my classic favorite games for a money grab. It's sad. Again, Rockstar used to make for each of the GTA's 10-year anniversaries, they would do something special. They would release the game on mobile for GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. They all had mobile releases, which was awesome. But then GTA 4 didn't get one, GTA 5 didn't get one, which I guess makes sense. I don't know if phones can run them. Maybe they can. But yeah. And then they released the trilogy remastered, and that whole shit scam, honestly. It's sad. It really is sad. In my last 20 years or so, have seen my favorite game companies turn from, being these icons, again, by gamers for gamers. You could really see the passion put into all these games, and, how much they truly cared about the community and listening to us and everything, to now these massive media tycoons, whatever, that do not care about what we say at all and just want to milk for money and whatever. It's sad. It truly is sad. But yeah, guys. And again, also, I want to say with the anti-cheat issue, I put in my community post how to fix it, but I did want to talk a little bit about modding GTA 5 specifically. A little tip and a little trick. Always back up your exe for GTA 5, because when an update like this releases, I thought this was common knowledge, but according to Reddit, a lot of people don't know this. I've had to help a lot of you guys out on Reddit, which I'm always happy to, but I just want to say this: if you are going to mod GTA 5, I remember in my previous video I said you don't have to back any of the game files up, because whatever's in the mods folder is in the actual game files, and that is true. But with base game files that are in the parent directory of GTA 5, like the exes, back them up, because they change with every update. And like I said, Alexander Blade is the one who's in control of ScriptWithV. Sometimes it takes him a few months, sometimes a few days to update it. But if you update your exe, you don't have to wait for that update. You can just play with an older version of the game, and it's just better that way. But, sometimes even when I have my EXEs backed up, I just like to wait. It gives me a little break from GTA 5, and that's honestly what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to wait for Alexander Blade. But yeah, if you guys do want some more modding tips and tricks, obviously I'm going to be making more videos on them. I've been helping out a lot of people recently on Reddit and other places, and I always enjoy that stuff, so yeah, let me know. And yeah, the future of modding as a whole, I'm scared for, to be honest. This whole time I've been excited for GTA 6 and modding GTA 6, because I spent my life modding GTA 4, 5, San Andreas, whatever. But I don't really know that GTA 6 is going to be moddable, especially with Take-Two taking down all these mods. It's crazy. I don't know. And for those of you that don't know, there was a map mod for GTA 5 which brought the entire map of GTA 4 into 5 with vehicles and peds and everything. But Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games, actually sued the modders. Why? How? I don't know. But again, they just care about money. That's it. And, a little background on why modding is so near and dear to my heart, and that is because, well, firstly, I always wanted to mod. Being on PlayStation, I'd watch YouTube videos of modders modding all these crazy cool things in their games, real life things. And when I did finally get my PC, I modded the hell out of my favorite games, all the GTAs and Watch Dogs and City Skylines and whatever. But you know, now of course I've sort of changed my modded builds up a bit. I had more sort of vanilla, lore-friendly modded builds. I'm a man of art when it comes to modding, but that's a whole other topic. The thing is with mods, right? They are literally, again, probably the last thing that's made by gamers for gamers. These people, like you and I, I make a few mods, but there are people that spend their whole lives modding. People that I have praised on this channel, like, Yorpi, Olenov, Alexander Blade, Sippus for the truck simulators, people like that who spend their lives to the community, modding, creating mods, sharing them with the community for free, keep in mind, for free. And they continue to give people support on their mods. And they just do it because they enjoy it. And I think that's probably the last genuine thing in gaming. And that's why, I want to, that's the whole point of this channel. I'm preserving modding. I love modding. And I want to keep it going for as long as possible. I don't know what the future holds for modding. It's scary. Just like gaming in general, it's scary, but I hope that we can still continue modding. And if there's one thing I do know, it's that the modding community will never die. We will continue modding old games for the rest of our lives if it comes to that. If newer games can't be modded, because that's just in the nature of modders like myself. So yeah, I guess overall, that's my thoughts on sort of gaming and modding in the future. It's kind of scary. It is a little scary. Like I said, seeing this entire change in the last 20 years, it's been pretty sad, to be honest. But you knew it was coming. Ever since the PS2, PS3, PS4, the mid 2000s, 2010s, when gaming really became huge, you just knew that corporate suits were going to jump on it and they were just going to ruin the hell out of it. But the silver lining is there are always people out there like modders who are keeping the gaming industry alive. People that genuinely care about gaming and they have a passion for it. And, and another thing I do want to note is that when I am talking trash on these big game companies, I am talking about like 0.01% of the company. I know that literally 99% of the people there are amazing. They are gamers just like us and they actually care. They go to work, they do their jobs because they care. And I have no doubt that a lot of these people have creative visions, but they just can't execute those visions because of higher ups. And as someone who myself works in a very, very, very large organization that, a lot of people hate on, to put lightly, I know that the people that work there are amazing people and they care about me, they care about all of you guys out there, because the place I work for does control your lives, whether you know it or not. But people hate on them all the time because of the decisions they make, but they don't understand we hate them too. It's just I don't know how much I can say, but I understand what it's like to have higher ups, like really, really high up, to the point where they don't even know what's going on in their own companies and the people, the consumers. And it's up to them to make decisions on stuff that doesn't affect them at all. It's horrible. And I know that that's the world these days. I mean, pretty much every workplace is like that. But when it's something like gaming, it's something that a lot of us are passionate about, something we've all been passionate about for a long time. It's just sad. It really is just sad. But the point is, I'm not going off at everyone that works there. I'm just going off at really, really high ups that are making these terrible decisions. But, I think it's not all doom and gloom. There are still shining examples in the gaming industry of games that are still amazing. Like I said, No Man's Sky, as well as other games. But they seriously need to come up with some new IPs. They seriously do. They can't stop. They need to stop just milking old games because, like I said, guys, it gets to a point where it's just like ridiculous, And a couple examples, obviously, Far Cry series, Just Cause series, Call of Duty, Need for Speed. I had a couple other ones that were such good examples, but these are series that, you know, they need to realize they peaked, you know, and they need to stop, seriously. But anyway, that's a whole other thing for another video. The point is, I don't like where the gaming industry is going. I really don't. The gaming industry and modding as a whole, it's scary. It's scary times. Like I said earlier this year, we had the crew shut down. Now, of course, GTA 5 doing this whole stuff with anti-cheat. It really shows us that we don't have control over the games we play. They can be shut down at any time. They can stop modding at any time, and it's scary. It's a scary thought, you know. Whereas a game like, I don't know, like San Andreas back in the day, you have the physical disc, you put it in the PS2, and there's nothing they can do. Once you have it, it works, it does everything it needs to. You know, we live in an age now of digital ownership, where do we really own them? And of course, that's something the crew brought up, and a whole thing about consumer rights, which again, please go, depending on where you live, there's different legal documents you can sign to help stop this, but look up how you can stop it in your local area, because it's a huge deal. It really is for gaming as a whole. But yeah, there's a lot of questions and concerns, I think, that aren't being brought up nearly enough, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I think we're very complacent these days when it comes to the games we play. We don't stand up to them enough for you know, dodgy practices and the way that they're treating us, the consumers who are longtime fans. And overall, it's just really sad. But again, it's not all darkness. There is good things happening in the background. Always good people working on things, and we just have to keep going on that hope. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think I've been yapping for long enough. Probably one of my longer videos, but again, there's a lot of things I want to cover in this video, and I can't possibly cover them all. But I will be in the future. Every topic I talk about in this video and more, I want to make a dedicated video on, or talk about them in a live stream or community posts or in other videos. I will keep the conversation going, because we always should. We shouldn't stop talking about stuff like this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you don't agree with anything I've said, let me know down in the description, in the comments below. I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear what you guys think. But overall, it's, yeah, a lot to talk about, a lot of different topics, especially the crew and GTA and my past with gaming and modding. I'm definitely going to be talking a lot more about, so look forward to that in the coming future. I hope you enjoyed this CS2 gameplay as well. I will get better, promise, guys. The other thing to note actually is when I'm playing casual on CS2, I am actually not wearing headphones. I cannot be bothered wearing headphones when I play casual. I'm usually like watching a YouTube video or something. But somehow I still come first. I don't know. It's casual. It's fun. It really is just fun. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the chill music as well. But anyway, yeah, this will be an ongoing discussion, of course. And yeah, I don't know when I'm releasing this video, if it'll be after all the planned videos I have, or if not. But either way, no matter what, there is a lot of content to come on the TFox channel. Lots more epic videos on different games, different mods, IRL, more discussions like this, as well as live streams, community posts, all that good stuff. But in the meantime, of course, check out my screenshots for more. But without any further ado, guys, and again, huge shout out to all the legendary modders out there, the ones I mentioned in this video and more. You guys are the rock stars of gaming, pun intended, and just keep up the good work. There are people out there like myself that genuinely see all the hard work you do, and we really appreciate you. And especially for all the hard-working game devs out there, same thing. So, without any further ado, guys, look forward to more epic content coming soon. We'll keep the conversation going. Talk to me in the comments or on my live streams. You can see me live and talk to me, ask me questions. But yeah, there'll be a lot more on all these topics to come. But yeah, stay tuned. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great day. Like and subscribe for more, and TFox is out.